public meeting of the Glendale City Council and the Glendale Housing Authority. May we have a roll call for the City Council?
Council members: Draymond.
Here.
Friedman.
Here.
Najarian.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Mayor Quintero.
Here.
And roll call for housing, please.
Authority members: Draymond.
Here.
Friedman.
Here.
Mincy.
Here.
Parazian.
Here.
Quintero.
Here.
Weaver. Chairman Najarian.
Here.
May we have your report?
Agenda for the January 5th, 2010 joint public meeting of the Glendale City Council and the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on Thursday, December 31, 2009 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. Before you today is Acting Director of Community Development and Housing and the Director of Development Services regarding City of Glendale Green Elements Affordable Housing and Energy Efficient Utility Schedule. At 1A is Council motion approving professional services agreement with, quote, Green Consultant David Blank for the Green Point rated and lead rating system in an amount not to exceed $107,250. At B is authority motion to note and file report.
Mr. Starbird.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chair, members of the City Council and Housing Authority, we'd like to take item 1A, that component off calendar. The balance that really deals with the utility allowance, I'm told by staff, and that's the note and file component of the report, that would still proceed and won't be impaired by our taking item 1A off calendar.
Okay, I do have one, we'll take it off calendar. I do have one card, Herbert Milano.
Wow.
Mayor Quintero, Happy New Year to you. I would like to address some concepts with regard to the new rating systems for purposes of encouraging conservation in new buildings, primarily energy and water. And I'm very much in favor of it because in my household, we really try to live as conservationists. My daughter is the one who really leads us basically in that direction, makes us accountable. But I've taken a significant interest in this because I know that sometimes the most basic and simplest answers oftentimes gives us the greatest results. And years ago, I mentioned to you how in Canada, having a very simple device that informs the residents what their energy consumption is daily, that is easily accessible, wound up with a 20% reduction in electricity. And in fact, it was so effective that they thought there was something wrong with the equipment. The reason is that when people know how much they're utilizing, they themselves conserve. The objectives originally for some of the housing projects in South Glendale and that was what I was trying to encourage, Mr. Draymond, that the idea of providing that information easily. But now we turn into a much more extensive and wide scoping projects now with a smart metering system citywide. And it concerns me that it appears that the way to inform the customer is through the internet, rather than to a simple device that's accessible to the elderly, to people with language problems, and people who don't know how to use the internet. At the end of the day, if these things are effective, you need to have some feedback if they are being successful or not. And from my studies having to do with, true energy conservation, the measures that really come to bear are the measures that the state of California uses. Do you reduce it by 20%? Do you reduce it by 30%? And I believe that we need a way of validating whether these programs, such as the ones you were about to consider today, how are they going to be measured in the future? My suggestion is something along the lines that says multifamily units should use no more than, should we say, 120 gallons per day of water, or should not use more than 10 kilowatt hours of electricity per day, and then continually measured year after year to see if they're effective. The thing is that we are so enamored with programs, with consultants, and we think that once we set it in place, that somehow we're going to get the results we want. But we never really go back to measure the results. My suggestion is that if you are going to implement something like this, that you put a systematic way of measuring the outcomes that you expect out of this particular program. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this has been taken off calendar, so I need a motion.
We've got 1B, which is a motion to note and file the report.
Mr. Mayor, move 1B.
Okay. Roll call.
Wait, need a second.
There was Authority Member Mincy seconded. Authority Members: Draymond.
Yes.
Friedman. Mincy. Parazian,
Yes.
Quintero,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Chairman Najarian.
Yes.
Is there motions to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn
Yeah.
for the council?
I'll second. Motion to adjourn for the Housing Authority? Second.
Housing is adjourned.
City Council is adjourned.
Where would you like to go next?
We'll do
See you down.
the City Council and Redevelopment Agency.
Do we have another that